John and I met in Florida, Tampa Bay. I went there with Evolation for a teacher training. I was a trainer there, and can you say the image? The first time that I saw him, it was this long-haired guy with headphones.
Can't tell by
walking down
fatherly image that I have now.
Walking down the corridor of the studio that there was there at the time of Evolation. And I thought, look, good thing. Also, young people come to do hot yoga. Good for them. Good for these kids. And then I find out, that he was actually older than me. And he was he was there to teach the 6 a.m. classes at the studio and like revisit the whole thing. So taking part of the training and assisting a little bit. And this is how we met. And we can say it now. It's just a few friends. We kept it secret. Because we were just meeting. And yes, and then it was really, so I was living in Mexico at the time, and it was already a while. It was a year that I graduated with Evolation. It was like 9 months that I was traveling with them, and he told me, for me, whatever you have planned, I'm okay with that. I'm going to follow you. And then once you finished your schedule, we're going to build one of our own. I'm like, oh, what? And he proved it because he was like just booking the ticket to Tulum, Cancun in the same time. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's really doing it. Some Valentine's Day, we got apart at the end of this training where we met. We got apart, and a week later he was in my life in Mexico.
It was 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So we lived apart since 5 years. Those 2 weeks, another week, and a few days here and there. And after that, we went to Italy. He came to meet my parents, and there it was my 30th birthday, where he got for me 30th roses.
30 roses?
Yes.
For her 30th birthday?
Yeah. Seems like the pictures of our wedding or something.
It just seemed like the least I could do. We went from Santa Barbara
to Sweden.
We had a wonderful flight on South China Airlines, and we spent the night in China, which was awesome. And we went to Chiang Mai. We spent a month in Chiang Mai, where she became a Thai masseuse. Then we went from Chiang Mai to Sweden, and that was like day and night.
Our little jackets, crazy. And everybody was like super winter. We looked like crazy people around.
We lived in a little house of the studio owner, who was an Evolation graduate, who then opened a studio in Sweden, and she housed us, and we taught classes for a month in Sweden. Then
and this is the beauty also of training with Evolation, and then eventually becoming a trainer, because people that I met almost 2 years before, where I was starting to become a trainer, I was assisting. This lady was finishing her training there in Amsterdam, and then I flew to her hometown, where she opened then eventually a studio, and we taught there. It was very beautiful. We've been doing up and down a little bit longer until New Mexico, where we got married. He became an Ayurvedic practitioner. I got pregnant, and we came back to Italy. And that was life-changing and transformational and kind of crazy.
After Anea was born, 3 months?
3 months.
3 months after he was born, we packed up and drove to Wisconsin, where my mom lives, and we spent the summer there. Then we packed up again and flew to Italy, and
that was
intense.
Intense.
That was very tough. Now we
don't want to move anymore.
we lived in the
we moved again.
We lived in the city for a year, and then we left and moved out to the countryside in the valley. And,
after all this traveling, the worst thing that you can do is to move to a city with a 5 months old, an Italian, like an European city with a 5 months old. It's just not, don't do that. And now we're here, locked here, thankfully, with a garden.
With the big mountains around us, and green and fresh air. And
snow right now.
Yeah, so. As your life changes, the yoga is easily changed to match the season of your life. So we've been blessed with having good foundation, not only as yogi students, but then working as teacher trainers. We've been able to have multiple perspectives, and that helped us to adapt our own practice, whether it's in our own home, private, like waking up at 5 a.m. to do meditations, or to squeeze in a small asana practice when our baby is asleep or something like that. So,
or when he's awake, and just staying around there. And yes, and as Mark says often in lectures, everything is yoga. And this came back to me when I was in the very first months of life of Enea, our son. It was like, okay, I'm not doing anything. I don't have time for myself. And I was struggling very much at the time. And it was like, okay, this is yoga as well. So you can use every little moment to, just go inward and observe your breath, or take every little daily challenge as, devotional yoga, as bhakti yoga, or
Children really show you how you have to be a bhakti yogi and devote yourself not only to your partner, but then you have a child, and you realize your life's not your own at all. And you have to devote your time and energy and your love to someone else. So we realize and we reflect on the fact that the real yoga is off the mat, whether it's a career or your personal practice. It all ends up off the mat.